Namaste Vidya, खुश रहिए. I JVN Muskan Kumari from the Department of Science and Technology, and I'm working here as an assistant professor in Vidyapeeth Women's University and Faculty of Education and Technology. So today, the basic course name, you all of know that your course name is the basic introduction towards your grid computing, cloud computing, and your big data, isn't it? So now today's in this session, I will discuss about the grid user role. What is the role of the grid users? What is the importance of grid user role? Isn't it? So we will discuss these all the things in this session. Okay. So if someone asks to you that what is the role of the grid users, isn't it? So what you will tell about these all the things? I'm just about to tell you about the grid user role as an administrator's perspective. Great performance, which includes the resources, availability, and reliability, utilization and load, response time, delay and delay variations. Okay. Data integrity is another consideration for the grid user role. For a grid performance, it is the main key to deliver the non-trivial qualities of services. The point to be noted here that non-trivial qualities of services, which is like the some grid services might fall short because the scattering and gathering steps and incur significant delay. Okay, so if we talk the performance factor regarding the grid user level, then what will be? Maintaining confidentiality and privacy will also be issues if you are transferring personal data. Security issues including secure authentication, access rights, and privilege reliable and secure communication, perhaps with an encryptions are also known as requirement. Okay, suppose if I talk about that what? Maintaining the confidentiality. It means what? The performance of the grid user must be high in case what? Whenever they are transferring anything to any persons, then the most important aim during the transmission is what? Confidentiality and privacy of all the data which is basically used to transfer should be what uh, confidential and private, okay, to each other from the others. And security issues also includes the authentication and authorization, access to rights to that the things, and also the privilege, reliable and secure communication, perhaps with encryptions are also as a requirement. Okay. Now, if you talk about the security, then there might be issues and the reduced cycle times also. Consolidate workload management, which creates flexible, resilient operational structures also. Okay. Now, if I talk about the infrastructure optimization, then what will be happen in this? Bring together not only IT resources but also the peoples, okay, workers, clients, end users. It can help to improve the productivity and collaborations, which benefits the business, in which cases enable flow recovery and failure, foster business community, also balance the workforce, enable collaboration across organizations and among the business, resilient highly available infrastructures, and support large multidisciplinary collaborations, federate data and distribute it all over the globally so that the balance of workload is maintained. Now, if you talk about the benefits, then increase access to data and collaborations, non-attritive job submissions, learning curve to get started, Breed software and standards are still evolving. And if you talk about some disadvantages regarding using of this breed computing, make better use of existing hardware, easier to collaborate with each other organizations, can solve larger, more complex problems in shorter time. And advantages will be like software used to analyze and summarize the raw data. Large quantity of data are collected. Data also managed by teams which is belonging to different organizations. Data are stored in archives on separate, perhaps geographical separated sites. Data acquired by scientific instruments. Okay. If we talk about the characteristics of green computing applications, then you can tell like the software used to analyze, summarize the raw data, large quantities of data files are collected. Data are managed by teams belonging to the different organizations. Data are stored in archives on separate, perhaps geographically separated sites, and data acquired by scientific instruments also. Okay. So this is all about your breed user roles, their benefits, isn't it, which I have discussed with you. Now I am just recalling point to point all the things over on today's session. Okay. So, firstly, you will also well known about the grid computing. Grid computing is a form of a networking type which is unlike conventional network that focus on the communications among the devices. This system can be distributed across the globe also, and they are heterogeneous or might be the homogeneous. Isn't it? Grid computing is just like a technique in which idle system in the network and their wasted CPU cycles can be efficiently used by uniting pools of server, storage system, and networks, okay, into a single large virtual system for resource sharing dynamically done. So there might be one term here, the grid, and another is computing. So what is the grid? Grid means globally distributed data and resources. Many large-scale problems cannot be solved by grid single computers. Access to additional resources also. Virtual resources and virtual organizations for the collaborations using parallel CPU capacity is also exploiting underutilized resources. Why we need the grid computing? Just because of the data grid. Data grid is basically responsible for housing and providing access to data across multiple organizations. And users are not concerned with where this data is located as long as they have access to the data. Scavenging rate. The scavenging rate is the most commonly used with a large number of desktop machines. Machines are scavenged for available CPU cycle and resources also. Owners of the desktop machine are usually given control over when their resources are available for participations in the grid. And last one will be the computational grade. The computational grade is basically used to focus on the setting aside resources specifically for computing power in this type of grid. Most of the machines are high performance servers. So the types of grid. Grid architecture, grid deliver high qualities of services, grid use a standard open general purpose protocols and interfaces, grid coordinate resources that are not subject to centralized control. And if we talk about the reservations or the characteristics of the grid, then you can say that the reserving the resources, monitoring progress and recovery, data configurations, query and submitting job, logging onto the grids, involving and installing the grid software, grid user roles, data sharing and resource management is also. So I hope this is all about your registration which I have discussed with you. And if you have any problem in registrations in the grade user roles and which I have discussed, then please let me know regarding all the problems and questions through which I will solve your all the questions in the next session with you. And if you have much more problems, then please also refer the standard book to study these all the topics, and also follow the your books and online websites through which you can easily get the this type of data. Okay, thank you.